Hey, I'm here with Sam Van Bibber. She's a friend of mine and a longtime Memphis resident. And Sam came with me on this Ignite Your Life tour. Right, Sam? We've
That's
had
right.
fun.
We've had a blast.
Yeah, and Memphis is your hometown.
It's my hometown. I was born here, Shelby County, St. Joseph Hospital. Everybody's born in St. Joseph.
So how is it, first of all, tell me how it is being back home.
Well,
You haven't been back here in 20 years almost.
yeah, it's a little strange. Culture's different than what I'm used to at this point in my life. I've grown quite a bit. And it's back home, though. It's my roots and my heart. My brothers are still here, and some of my very, very closest friends.
And, my Ignite Your Life project is all about getting back to your roots, So
Yeah.
do you feel good about that? You feel like a piece of you is back?
I'm not sure. I think I have to process it when I go back home, and I'll probably have a lot of emotion because I've been having lots of emotion here, lots of tears. So, yeah.
But also lots of joy. I've seen that.
Oh, yeah. I've been having a blast. Lots of laughs.
Seeing all your old friends.
Yes.
And you said memories are coming back. So we were talking about MLK. We went to the Civil Rights Museum. So tell me about that time period, what it was like. First of all, how old were you when MLK came and was shot?
At 19 years old.
You were 19. So paint a picture for me of what it was like in Memphis at that time.
Civil unrest.
Mm.
It was...
Between blacks and whites, there was a lot of tension.
It was between
right?
blacks and whites. It had been that way for years. I was kind of raised that way. And the way you're raised is not the way you always have to end up being. I can tell you that. You can grow and enlarge your life and your mind and your heart and realize things are not always as they seem when you're a child as you become an adult. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
And you've grown away from that.
A
so.
whole lot. 900%.
So right before that happened, the city, what was going on in the city right before he came?
I keep seeing or hearing the words in my head, civil unrest,
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of grew up in that kind of atmosphere. And it's a shame, but it's
Mhm.
really a shame that people can't see that we're all same color on the inside. That's all
Yeah.
I can say. That's not all I can say, but
Yeah.
that's the main thing. And we're all humans,
Yeah.
and we all have the same wants and desires and family and loves.
Yeah.
And as a child growing up, I didn't understand being prejudiced. The word racism really wasn't around back when I was a kid, but I didn't understand it. And I've said, I'm kind of not, it's not that I'm not ashamed, but I said I was born and raised in a racist family. Prejudice, racism. And it
Mhm.
just didn't work for me, even as a little girl. I have many stories, many stories.
And you rebelled against that.
I kind of rebelled in my own little head for a long time until I got my voice, and then I started using my voice, and I got in trouble sometime.
Mm. And I just was with a friend who grew up in Memphis also, and she kind of has a similar story, where she was
Yeah.
raised in a family that taught her certain things and, grew up and had different beliefs. So, yeah, we can change, that's for sure, from where we grew up. And so tell me about MLK gets shot on, I'm not sure what day of the week it was, but at 6 o'clock, we learned at the National Civil Rights Museum. So the next day you went to work like normal, and you worked nearby the Lorraine Motel, or?
No, well, I worked in downtown Memphis, Memphis is a small, large town,
Mm-hmm.
and I had gone to work. And of course, you have to think about the year. It was 1968. We did not have television like we do now and the internet, okay? So I had gone to work, and I hadn't been there long, and my uncle called me, and he said, get all your stuff together and get downstairs, but stay inside the building. I'm coming to pick you up. Should I use the word?
No.
Are rioting, blank, are rioting, and they're going to kill us. They're trying to kill all the white people. And I was like, what? So I grabbed my stuff and went downstairs, and he was the matriarch of our family, and did what he said and waited for him to come pick us up.
And your grandmother worked right around the corner.
My grandmother didn't work around the corner from me. She worked around the corner across the street from the Lorraine Motel where it all happened.
And she was this was interesting, she was a film, she censored
the movie films that came through Memphis.
That's
She
hilarious.
cut out all the naughty bits and sliced them back together. And as a child, I spent a lot of time at her job just because we were, I don't know, we just did. And the thing about the whole day was, like I said, technology wasn't there. I don't think I was totally 100% aware that Martin Luther King had already been shot. And I didn't find this out until I came to Memphis this time. In my mind, I thought it was the day he was shot. So, but it was actually the day that the riots really started, and the people started rebelling and saying, we've had enough, the black people. And I'm a white person, and it was like, I'm scared too. So he came and got us, and he got me first, and he made me scoot down in the front seat, almost on the floor of his old pickup. So if anybody was going to get shot, it was going to be him. Of course, we'd crashed the car, and I would have died anyway, but so we'd go pick up Grandma and put her in the car the same way, and he drives like a maniac out of hell back to our neighborhood where we felt like we were safe because we lived in a white neighborhood. So it was several days of no one going to work, no one leaving their homes. Everybody was frightened. Nobody knew what to do. And the troops came in from Millington, the National Guard. And it was just, in my child mind, it was kind of like a little vacation. I didn't have to go to work. I just graduated from high school, so.
And you saw the guard marching down the street, the guards.
Not marching, they were in trucks.
Okay.
And big, giant dump-like trucks, and they would sit around the edges. And me and my little girlfriend across the street would wave at the boys. And, we were lighthearted about it, but soon it sunk in, and it was tragedy, and it was horrifying. It was just broke your heart. It almost makes me cry.
Yeah. That was a hard
Think
time
about
in
it.
Memphis.
The whole thing,
Mhm.
and growing up in a situation like this was hard.
Mhm.
It was hard. It was difficult, but it changed my life from that point on, and it made me a better person. Because a lot of times we have to have bad things to happen to make us a better person. That's called growing. I believe that's what it's called. So, I don't know. Ask me some more questions, Sarah.
Well, and so coming back home though this has been really healing, I think, for you. Very emotional and very healing.
It's been so emotional, so
Mhm.
healing. I haven't been back in 18 years for a lot of reasons, and my family has changed. What's left of it? My sister passed away. I have very few relatives left. I have 3 brothers, of which 2 live here, and it's been difficult, but at the same time it's joyful, and memories have just been swarming through my brain.
Mhm.
And all my life I've lived on the Mississippi River. It's right down the street, and I took my friend Sarah down there, whether she drove, and I realized that I had never gone to the Mississippi River just to sit and watch the sunset in my whole life. And it was so beautiful and was so wonderful, and made me feel such a small part of a big thing. It was wonderful. And Sarah has opened my eyes to a lot since I've known her. back in
And that's me,
Houston.
Sarah. Me.
That's
I'm
Sarah.
behind the screen. I'm
Right.
behind the camera.
And so, and just coming here, I think I may have opened some of her eyes too.
You
So,
did, yeah, because I went to camp not too far, and I knew friends from Memphis. But
Yeah.
I grew up in Houston, and we had such a different
Different life.
view of the world. Yeah, I mean, you and I are now coming from the most diverse city in the country to Memphis.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So it's a different world still.
Memphis is still a little different, slow,
Mm-hmm.
much slower, but it still has a lot of civil unrest, which is it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big dividing line. It's almost physical at some points in the city. And you have to be careful. You have to watch where you go, what you say, who you look at. You just have to be mindful of where you are at all times here. And that makes me very, very sad. It's made me cry.
Yeah, a woman told you to zip up your purse yesterday. Huh?
A lady in the AutoZone, I had my purse unzipped and really tacky, bad about that. And she tapped me on the shoulder. She said, "Ma'am, you need to shut your purse." I said, "What?" And she said, "Some man being here in 2 seconds, your money would be gone, girl." That's why she was talking. And she said, then we just started chatting. I said, "Thank you so much." I was just shocked that anybody would just take a second of their time to say that to me, a total stranger. Then I didn't realize that. I know people are not bad at heart. I don't know how to explain how that was so moving to me.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked, and she told me about her grandchildren, and just stuff in the AutoZone waiting to be waited on.
That's where all the magic happens, is at AutoZone.
AutoZone, yeah, get your car fixed.
So tell me really quick before we go, you've come back to Memphis, you've gotten a piece of you back. What ignites your life?
What ignites my life? Oh, Sarah, that's such a question.
I warned you I was going to ask you that.
Art.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very creative person. I have been since a child. I was asked as a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? Sandra, that's my real name, don't tell anybody. I want to be an artist. Mm-hmm. And I've painted and drawn and done crafts and made things, and I've sewn things and sold them for money all my life. And I'm still doing it. So that's what really ignites my life. And someday I'll be rich and famous because I've been an artist, right? And I live in Houston, Texas, and I'm very involved in the Houston art car scene, which I have my T-shirt on from the parade this year. And my friend Sarah, we came down in her art car.
That's me.
Sarah,
That's me.
And that really ignites my life. I'm an animal lover. I have been all my life. I got that from my family. I have 2 kitties. I would have 100 and 200 dogs if I had a place to keep them and the money. A lot of things in life. I love music, live music. I was born here in this place where the blues came, and I continue that. I go to a little club in Houston called Rehab, which is a silly name, but we have a lot of blues there, baby, lots of blues, and that's what turns me on.
And I think people ignite your life too.
Oh, people do. Yes, I'm a people gatherer. And I had a business in Houston for 20 years, and people still know me from that business, even though I closed it I closed it almost 20 years ago now.
Wear It Again, Sam.
Wear It Again, Sam. I sell vintage clothes, costumes, antiques, jewelry.
You were a costumer, which I didn't know.
And I was a costumer. I had a costume for the Alley Theater for several shows, even while I had my shop, and some small theater groups, because that's kind of like ignites my life too. Clothing, I love period clothing, and all my studying on that, and I've been self-taught, just because it's my life. That's what ignites my life. That's another one.
Clothing.
I got a lot of them, I think.
You
Right.
do. You're so creative. Well, thank you so much for your perspective on Memphis and for all of that. And thank you so much. Go ignite your life.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll be igniting my life with you.